The arena was enormous, stretching as far as the eye could see. It was not a place for the weak. Thousands of alien spectators filled the stands, their glowing eyes focused on the center. The air buzzed with tension, excitement, and disbelief. Today was not just another battle. Today, something unusual was about to happen. Lena walked into the arena. She was small, far smaller than any fighter around her. Her clothes were simple, almost ragged, and her hands were bare. The crowd immediately noticed her size and laughed. Some even pointed, their voices echoing through the massive hall. Look at her. She's human. She can't even lift that weapon. The aliens in the front rows were already whispering among themselves, mocking her. The trainers shook their heads. Even the arena leaders looked doubtful. Across from Lena, the champion of the arena stood tall and broad. His armor shimmered under the artificial lights, and the plasma weapon in his hand glowed blue. He was known for his unstoppable strength and deadly precision. Most had said he could defeat any human in seconds. Yet, here stood Lena, calm, focused, and strangely unafraid. The first whistle sounded. The crowd's laughter turned into cheers, ready for the spectacle. The champion raised his plasma weapon. Energy pulsed along its core like a coiled serpent, ready to strike. Lena took a deep breath and stood her ground. She looked up at the giant alien, her eyes steady, not a flicker of fear visible. The first plasma strike shot toward her like a comet. The crowd gasped. It was too fast, too bright. Many thought the match was over before it even began. But Lena did not move back. She didn't even flinch. Then, something impossible happened. She raised one hand. Just one hand, and the plasma stopped midair. Sparks danced around her palm. The energy froze, suspended between them, casting a strange blue light across the arena. For a moment, there was silence. Not a sound, not a cheer, not a breath. Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. She blocked it. No human can do that. The champion's eyes widened as he tried again. He struck with his weapon. Faster, stronger, but Lena's hand remained steady. She pushed back slightly, and the energy dispersed harmlessly into the floor. The crowd could hardly believe their eyes. Lena's face stayed calm, almost serene. She didn't smile or celebrate. She just stood there, ready. The alien champion clenched his jaw. He had never faced anyone like her. He had defeated hundreds, even thousands. But this was different. The arena fell into a tense hush. Whispers spread like wildfire. How is this possible? She's a human and she's stronger than him? No one in the crowd knew her story. No one knew the hours, days, and years of training that had brought her here. No one knew the struggle she had endured just to reach this moment. Lena took a slow step forward. Her eyes scanned the arena, seeing the doubt, fear, and astonishment in every alien face. She felt calm. She had expected this moment. She had trained for it her whole life. The champion lunged at her again. This time, he used all his strength. Plasma arcs flew in wild patterns, aiming to overwhelm her. But Lena moved with precision. She dodged, twisted, and blocked with one hand. Sparks flew. The ground scorched under the energy, but she remained unharmed. The spectators gasped and leaned forward in their seats. Some covered their mouths, unsure if what they were seeing was real. Lena's mind focused on one thing: control. She didn't need to fight recklessly. She didn't need to show off. Every move was deliberate, every breath calculated. The energy around her seemed to obey her will. It bent, it froze, it danced all under her hand. The champion growled. He had never faced resistance like this. Every strike he threw was blocked. Every move he tried to overpower her failed. Sweat dripped down his face as he realized that this human girl was not ordinary. Impossible, he whispered, almost to himself. The arena was silent now. The crowd no longer cheered. They stared, unable to look away. Something had changed. What they expected to be a quick, entertaining fight had turned into something none of them could comprehend. Lena remembered the long nights of training, the pain, the bruises, the hunger, the moments when she thought she could not continue. All of it had led to this. Every strike, every block, every move in the arena was a story of her struggle, and now it was showing. The champion tried one last time, gathering all his power for a final strike. Energy crackled around him like a storm, the floor trembling under the force. The crowd held their breath. This would decide everything. Lena looked at him. Her eyes narrowed slightly, not in anger, but in focus. She didn't think about winning or losing. She thought about control, balance, and timing. When the champion struck, Lena didn't move back. She didn't panic. With one swift motion, she pushed forward, blocking the strike and redirecting its energy into the floor. A blinding light filled the arena, and the champion stumbled back, momentarily stunned. The spectators erupted in shocked murmurs. Aliens whispered to each other, unsure if they had just witnessed a miracle. Lena stood, steady as ever, her hands still raised, her breathing calm. The arena had gone silent, not from fear alone, but from awe. No one could believe what they had just seen. A human, small and seemingly weak, had stopped the champion's plasma strike with a single hand. And in that silence, a new story began. Lena's unexpected turning point had arrived. The moment that no one in the arena, not even the strongest aliens, would ever forget. She had not just entered the arena, she had changed it forever. The arena was still. The crowd, both alien and human observers, whispered in disbelief. Lena stood in the center, her hand glowing faintly from the redirected plasma. Her calm gaze met the champion's eyes. He was massive, his muscles tense, his plasma weapon humming like a living creature. Yet, for the first time, doubt crossed his face. How? How is this human? He muttered under his breath. Lena didn't answer. She didn't need to. The silence of the arena said everything. The small human before them was not just strong. She was extraordinary. But no one in the crowd knew what had made her this way. No one knew the long, hidden journey that led to this moment. Long before this day, Lena had lived on a small, worn-out colony on a forgotten planet. Her family was poor. Her neighbors mocked them for being weak humans. Even her friends had left her behind when danger came. She was fragile, often small for her age, and her body could barely withstand the weight of even basic human labor. But Lena had a fire inside her, a tiny spark that refused to die. She didn't know why she survived the bullying, the hunger, or the pain, but she did. Every night, she would lie awake, thinking about how she could become stronger, how she could protect herself, how she could prove that humans were not weak. One night, a figure appeared at her doorstep, a human master, old and mysterious, known only as Master Kale, had been watching her. He saw the spark in her eyes, the stubbornness, the courage hidden under fear. You have potential, he said softly, but potential alone is nothing. You must train your mind, your body, and your soul. And so began Lena's secret training. Master Kale didn't start with weapons. He started with the simplest, yet most painful lessons. He forced Lena to carry stones heavier than her body across the rough terrain. He made her balance on thin ledges, testing her focus. He deprived her of sleep for days, forcing her mind to fight exhaustion. Each lesson hurt. Sometimes she fell. Sometimes she thought she would die. But each time, she rose again, stronger and more determined. Pain is temporary, Master Kale would whisper. Strength lasts forever. Then came the strange part of her training. Control over energy. Master Kale taught her to sense the world in ways no one else could. To feel the flow of energy in her surroundings. To bend it, stop it, and even redirect it. Humans had once been a small species, weak in body, but capable of extraordinary mental focus. Lena learned to tap into that. At first, she couldn't do it. Plasma-like energy flickered in her hands and disappeared. Sparks shocked her again and again, but she never gave up. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. Her body adapted, her mind sharpened, her senses expanded. She learned to control her strength, her reflexes, even her speed. She learned patience. She learned timing. She learned the one thing that made her different from every fighter she had seen in the arena. She could remain calm, even when facing certain death. And now, all of that training was about to show. The champion roared and charged again, this time with more precision. He had realized that brute force alone would not win this fight. Plasma beams twisted and turned, faster than before, aiming to overwhelm her senses. But Lena had been waiting for this. She moved her feet lightly, her body a blur. She didn't just block the attacks. She redirected them. Each blast of plasma she controlled pushed him back slightly, frustrating him more and more. Her mind worked like a computer. Each movement predicted the next strike. Each block was planned. Every motion was a result of years of unseen, silent, painful training. The aliens in the crowd began murmuring in disbelief. They had never seen a human move like this. Some whispered in fear, others in awe. "Impossible," one shouted. "She is bending the energy with her mind." Meanwhile, Lena felt something else. She felt power within herself that she had never felt before. Her body was light, her mind sharp. Her hand glowed brighter as she focused more energy into it. She could almost taste the anticipation, the tension, the fear around her. And then it happened. The champion unleashed his ultimate move, a plasma storm that twisted and coiled like a living serpent. The floor cracked under its heat. The air burned. The arena shook violently. Spectators clutched the edges of their seats. No one had survived this move before. Not a single fighter. Lena didn't flinch. Her hand rose slowly. Her fingers spread. The energy hit her palm. And for a moment, the arena lit up with blinding white light. The storm stopped. Every plasma beam froze in midair, as if the world had paused. The crowd gasped. Silence. The alien champion stumbled, his eyes wide in shock. Lena's hand glowed with an ethereal blue light, stronger than before. The power she had held inside for years had finally awakened completely. Her mind reached into the flow of energy, sensing its rhythm, its force, and its weaknesses. She felt it bend to her will. She redirected the plasma, sending it harmlessly into the arena floor, leaving a smoking crater behind. Sparks flew, the heat crackled, but Lena stood untouched, calm and focused. For the first time, the champion realized something terrifying. This was not just a human. This was a force of nature, refined, controlled, and deadly. Brute strength, speed, and size meant nothing here. The crowd couldn't take their eyes off her. Even the arena leaders, creatures who had seen the strongest fighters from many worlds, whispered among themselves. "She is beyond human," one of them said, and Lena's eyes glowed brighter. She felt a surge of confidence, but not arrogance. She had trained for this. She had suffered for this, and she would not fail. The champion tried to strike again, but Lena had already moved. Her body blurred with speed. She dodged, spun, and placed her palm lightly against the champion's chest. The force of her hand didn't hurt him immediately, but it sent a ripple through his armor. He stumbled back, unsteady, and fell to one knee. The arena erupted in gasps. No human had ever touched him. No human had ever survived this long in the arena. And then Lena spoke. Her voice was calm, steady, and firm. "Humans are not weak." It was a simple sentence, but it echoed through the arena. Aliens looked at each other, stunned. For the first time, they saw humans not as fragile creatures, but as beings capable of extraordinary power. The champion roared in anger, rising to his feet. Plasma energy crackled again, brighter, hotter, more deadly. He aimed for a strike that could end the fight in seconds. But Lena was ready. Her hand rose again. Her eyes narrowed. Energy flowed around her like a river under her command. She didn't fight recklessly. She didn't rush. Every movement was precise, calculated, and deadly. And then she moved faster than anyone could see. A single, controlled motion. A strike that carried the weight of years of pain, training, and determination. The champion was thrown off balance. His weapon sent flying. He fell to the ground, stunned and defeated, though not yet harmed. The arena went completely silent. For the first time, the spectators felt fear mixed with awe. They had witnessed something they would never forget. A human girl had not just survived the champion's attacks. She had controlled them, redirected them, and defeated him with precision. Lena stood tall, her hands still glowing faintly. She breathed calmly, almost as if nothing had happened. And in that moment, she realized something. This was only the beginning. The arena was not over. Other fighters would come, more powerful, more deadly. But Lena was ready. Her secret training, her hidden strength, and her unwavering focus had revealed the true power of humans. And now, every eye in the arena knew she was not to be underestimated. The arena was filled with tension. The small human girl, Lena, had already stunned the champion and the crowd. Her hand still glowed faintly from the redirected plasma strikes, and her calm face contrasted sharply with the chaos around her. The champion, now on one knee, rose slowly. His massive eyes were full of disbelief, but also anger. "This human! She cannot be real," he growled. Lena didn't answer. She didn't need to. She had already proven herself. Her movements had been precise, her control unbroken. But the arena was far from over. She could feel it. More enemies were coming. From the far end of the arena, the doors opened. One by one, aliens appeared, stronger, larger, and faster than the first champion. There were 3 at first, then 5 more, and then 10. The crowd gasped. "10 aliens?" whispered a young spectator. "All at once." The aliens laughed. "Finally, we will see the human fall," one of them shouted. Their weapons glowed with energy, ready to strike. Lena's eyes narrowed. She didn't panic. She had trained for this. Years of secret preparation, pain, and discipline had led to this moment. Her mind was calm, her body ready. She could feel the energy in the arena, the flow of every strike, every motion. She was prepared to fight, not recklessly, but with precision. The first alien lunged forward, plasma weapon aimed at her. Lena sidestepped, her body moving like water. She twisted, redirected the blast with a flick of her wrist, and sent it harmlessly into the arena wall. The alien stumbled, shocked. Another alien attacked from the side, faster, stronger. Lena leaped, barely touching ground, and landed behind him. With one swift kick, she sent him tumbling forward. The crowd gasped again. No human had ever moved like this. The fight intensified. Aliens came from every angle, weapons firing, claws slashing, energy bursts exploding. But Lena moved like a shadow, her movements fluid, precise, and unpredictable. Each strike she blocked, each attack she avoided, made the aliens more frustrated. One particularly large alien, twice Lena's size, rushed toward her with all his strength. Plasma energy pulsed around him like a storm. Lena didn't hesitate. She lowered her body, waited for the perfect moment, and then moved. Her hand shot out, catching the alien's energy blast. The arena lit up with sparks. The blast bounced off her palm and hit the ground, leaving a smoking crater. The alien roared in frustration, swinging his massive arms. But Lena was already gone, a blur, striking him in the chest with a precise punch. He staggered, fell to the ground, and couldn't get up in time for the next attack. The crowd erupted in whispers. "She's unstoppable," one alien murmured. "How is this possible?" But Lena didn't stop. She knew more were coming. She could feel them, like a wave of predators closing in. 3 more aliens charged together, hoping to overwhelm her. She stood calmly, her eyes glowing faintly. Instead of running or panicking, Lena used her strength against them. She dodged the first attack, then the second, and with a swift motion, she redirected the combined energy of their strikes into the arena floor. The force threw them off balance, and Lena used the opportunity to strike them one by one. Her movements were a combination of speed, strategy, and focus. Every alien that attacked her was blocked, redirected, or sent flying. The crowd watched in disbelief. Aliens who had laughed at her when she entered the arena now looked fearful. "Impossible," whispered one of the arena leaders. "No human could survive this. No human could fight like this." But Lena didn't think about that. She focused only on the fight. Her body moved instinctively, a result of years of training. She remembered Master Kale's words. "Pain, fear, and doubt are nothing. Control them, and you will become unstoppable." And now, Lena was unstoppable. The aliens regrouped. They realized brute force alone would not win. They attacked in coordinated patterns, trying to trap her. But Lena anticipated their moves. She was not just reacting. She was controlling the battlefield. Every step, every dodge, every strike was deliberate. The energy around her grew stronger. Sparks flew, plasma streaks filled the air, and the arena shook under the force of her movements. Yet Lena remained calm. She was a storm contained within a human body, precise and deadly. Suddenly, one of the aliens, faster and smarter than the others, launched a surprise attack. Lena was almost caught off guard, but in that split second, she remembered her training, patience and focus. She shifted her weight, dodged, and redirected the attack with a spin. The alien stumbled, crashing into his comrades. The crowd gasped louder than ever. Even the humans watching from the stands felt their hearts race. No one had ever seen a single human handle such an overwhelming force. Then came the final wave. The largest alien, the commander of this group, entered the arena. He was massive, armored in dark metal, with glowing eyes that burned with fury. His presence alone seemed to shift the energy in the arena. He laughed, a deep, terrifying sound. "Human, you will fall," he said, his voice echoing. "No one survives against me." But Lena didn't flinch. She had faced stronger opponents before, and she had survived. She remembered every moment of pain, every failure, every lesson Master Kale had taught her. She was ready. The commander struck. Energy waves exploded from his weapon, larger and faster than any she had faced. Lena moved with lightning speed, dodging, blocking, and redirecting. Sparks flew, and the ground cracked under the force. But Lena stood firm. She had become more than human. The fight raged on. Every move she made was calculated, every block precise. The commander tried to overwhelm her, but Lena was always one step ahead. She used her energy, their strength, and their aggression against them. Finally, after a long, intense battle, Lena saw an opening. The commander had overextended, leaving a small gap in his defense. With all her focus, she struck. A single, precise motion, a push of her hand, redirected his energy into the arena floor. He stumbled, lost balance, and fell to one knee. The arena went completely silent. For the first time, every spectator, alien and human alike, realized the truth. One human had defeated them all. Lena stood tall, her chest heaving slightly, but her eyes calm. She looked around the arena, taking in the stunned faces, the whispering crowd, and the defeated enemies at her feet. She had survived. She had proven herself. She had shown the world that humans were not weak. But even in victory, Lena knew the fight was not over. This was only the beginning. Other challengers would come. Stronger, faster, deadlier. But she was ready. She had control, focus, and a hidden power that no one could match. The arena erupted in awe and disbelief. The aliens who had laughed at her now bowed their heads in respect. Humans cheered, inspired by her courage and strength. Lena took a deep breath, letting the moment sink in. She had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. And as she looked toward the doors of the arena, she knew that even greater challenges awaited. But she was ready. She was more than human now. She was a legend in the making. The arena was quiet now. The dust from the previous fights hung in the air like a thick fog. The aliens who had attacked Lena were lying unconscious or struggling to rise. The crowd's excitement had turned into tense silence. Everyone knew that the final challenge was about to arrive. From the shadowed doors at the far end, the ground shook, not lightly. Tremors ran across the arena floor. The air seemed heavier, charged with energy. The spectators leaned forward in their seats, their eyes wide. The doors opened slowly. A giant figure emerged, taller, broader, and more terrifying than any fighter the arena had ever seen. He was a commander, the ultimate warrior. His armor glowed with red energy. His weapons were sharp and pulsating, and his eyes burned like molten fire. The crowd gasped. Even the champion, who Lena had already defeated, looked up in fear. This was not just another opponent. This was the final test. The commander laughed, a deep, bone-shaking laugh that echoed through the arena. "So, the tiny human has survived this long," he said. "You think you can defeat me?" Lena didn't move, didn't flinch. Her hand still glowed faintly from the previous fights, but now her focus sharpened even more. She could feel the commander's power radiating, heavy and threatening. Yet, she was not afraid. She remembered every lesson from Master Kale. Control, patience, focus, and timing. This was the moment to show the culmination of all her training. She could not rush. She could not panic. She had to wait, observe, and strike at the perfect moment. The commander charged first. The ground shook under his massive steps. His weapon released a stream of energy, hotter and faster than anything Lena had faced. The arena seemed to shake with every strike. Lena dodged the first attack with a light step. Her body moved like a shadow, avoiding the energy streams with precise timing. But she realized quickly this opponent was different. He was not just strong, he was clever. Every attack was calculated. Every strike designed to trap her. The battle escalated. Sparks flew, energy beams collided, and the arena shook violently. Lena's movements were precise, but she had to think faster than ever. One mistake could mean the end. The commander unleashed a massive attack, a swirling storm of energy that spiraled around him like a tornado. Lena took a deep breath, focused, and raised her hand. She caught the energy midair. The force was immense, enough to crush the ground and throw her off balance. But Lena stood firm. She pushed back slightly, redirecting some of the energy to the arena floor, creating a massive shockwave that knocked back smaller opponents. The crowd screamed, some in awe, some in fear. No one had ever seen a human manipulate energy like this. The commander's eyes narrowed. He had faced the strongest fighters, yet this human was unlike anything he had encountered. He roared, increasing the intensity of his attacks. The energy around him flared, red lightning crackling in every direction. Lena's body moved instinctively, her training guiding every step. She ducked, twisted, and countered with precise strikes. Every hit she landed was small but effective, chipping away at the commander's defense. She wasn't just fighting for survival. She was teaching him a lesson in strategy and patience. For a moment, the commander paused, surprised. How? How can one human? He muttered, but Lena didn't give him a chance to finish. She advanced, moving faster than he expected. With a swift motion, she struck his weapon, sending sparks flying. The commander stumbled back, his balance broken for a split second. That was all Lena needed. The arena erupted with gasps. Aliens who had doubted humans before were now watching in disbelief. Lena, the tiny human girl, was holding her own against the ultimate boss of the arena, but the fight was far from over. The commander recovered quickly, swinging his weapon in a wide arc Lena barely dodged. She rolled, avoiding the full force, and countered with a precise strike to his leg. He roared in pain but didn't fall. Lena realized she couldn't win by brute force. This was a battle of wits, strategy, and focus. She had to use her opponent's strength against him. She began to study his movements, noticing patterns in his attacks. Every swing, every energy release, every charge. There was a rhythm, with careful timing. She began to redirect his attacks, sending his own energy back toward him in controlled bursts. The commander's eyes widened in shock. He had never been countered so skillfully. Every move he made seemed to fuel Lena's strength rather than weaken her. The crowd's whispers grew louder. "She's using his power against him," one alien shouted. "The human is unstoppable." But Lena didn't listen. She didn't need the crowd's approval. Her mind was sharp, her focus absolute. Every movement, every strike, every block was calculated. She was not fighting for glory. She was fighting to survive, to prove that humans were capable of more than anyone thought. The commander grew furious. He unleashed a massive final attack, a concentrated blast of energy that filled half the arena. Lena's eyes narrowed. This was the moment. She waited, timing her move perfectly. As the energy storm approached, Lena raised her hands. She caught the blast, the heat searing against her skin, but she stood firm. She redirected the energy with a precise push, sending the force back at the commander. He stumbled, unprepared for the sheer control and precision of her strike. The arena shook violently. Dust and debris filled the air. The commander fell to his knees, exhausted, unable to counter her moves. Lena stepped forward, calm and focused, ready for the final strike. With one motion, she released the energy she'd gathered, a controlled burst that hit the commander squarely. He was thrown back, crashing into the arena wall. The crowd went silent. For a moment, no one breathed. Then, slowly, Lena lowered her hands. Her chest heaved slightly from the effort, but her face remained calm. The ultimate boss had been defeated. The arena was silent, not from fear alone, but from awe. The aliens in the stands stared, wide-eyed. They had witnessed something extraordinary. A single human girl, small and underestimated, had defeated the strongest fighter in the arena. No brute force, no overwhelming size, just focus, training, and determination. Lena stood tall, her eyes glowing faintly, surveying the arena. She had survived impossible odds. She had faced a champion, multiple enemies, and the ultimate boss, and emerged victorious. The crowd erupted in cheers. Humans cheered, inspired by her courage. Even the aliens showed respect, realizing that this small human had changed their perception forever. And in that moment, Lena knew something important. This fight was not just about strength. It was about control, focus, and heart. She had proven that humans were not weak, that even the smallest and most underestimated could rise to greatness with the right mindset and training. She had become more than a fighter. She had become a legend. The arena was still. Dust swirled in the air from the earlier battle, covering the ground like a gray blanket. The crowd, once loud with cheers and laughter, now stared in awe. The champion was defeated. The final boss had fallen. And in the center of the arena stood a single human girl, Lena. She breathed slowly, her chest rising and falling with calm determination. Her hands were slightly glowing, faint traces of energy still dancing along her fingers. She looked around the stunned crowd, her small figure standing tall against the massive, fallen aliens. For a moment, no one moved. Not the humans, not the aliens. Silence stretched across the arena like a heavy curtain. It was a silence born not of fear, but of disbelief and respect. Every eye was on Lena. Every whisper of doubt from before had vanished. Then, slowly, a murmur began. One alien stood, then another, then the crowd joined. It was not just applause. It was awe, respect, recognition. Lena had done the impossible. Her mind drifted back to everything that had led her here. The years of secret training under Master Kale. The bruises, the hunger, the pain she had endured. Every sleepless night. Every moment she thought she would fail. All of it had been worth this. She remembered the first time Master Kale had looked at her and said, "You have potential, but you must train your mind, body, and soul. Only then will you see what you are truly capable of." Now, standing in the arena, she understood fully. Power wasn't just about strength. It wasn't about weapons or armor or size. It was about control, focus, patience, courage, and most of all, heart. The defeated aliens slowly rose, some holding their heads low, some staring at her with wide eyes. Even the final boss, massive and terrifying, looked at her with a new respect. He had underestimated her, as had every other fighter in the arena. "You, human," the commander said, his voice rough but calm. "You are more than we imagined." Lena didn't smile. She only nodded once, respectfully, acknowledging his words. She had not fought for praise or glory. She had fought to prove a point. Humans were not weak. The arena's leaders, creatures who had seen countless fighters from many worlds, approached. Their glowing eyes studied her carefully. One of them stepped forward, a being whose size and presence commanded silence. "This human, she has done what no other has," the leader said. "She has survived, controlled, and defeated our strongest. She is extraordinary." Lena's heart beat steadily. She had expected challenges, but she had not expected recognition of the scale. Yet she did not let it distract her. She had learned long ago that focus was everything. Slowly, the humans in the crowd began to cheer. Their voices grew louder, stronger, filling the arena. "Lena! Lena! Lena!" they shouted. Their cheers were mixed with awe, relief, and pride. A human had finally shown the galaxy what they were truly capable of. Even some of the aliens began to clap, their gestures awkward but sincere. Respect had replaced fear. Recognition had replaced doubt. Lena had changed the arena forever. But Lena's eyes scanned the arena carefully. She noticed small details. Energy leaks from broken weapons. Fires burning in corners. Small cracks spreading across the arena floor. The battle had been won, but it had left its mark. She took a deep breath, focusing one last time. Her hands rose slightly, and with a controlled wave, she dispersed the remaining energy in the arena, extinguishing sparks and stabilizing the floor. Calm returned. The arena was peaceful, and then Lena stepped forward. Small steps, yet deliberate. She walked across the arena floor, her eyes never leaving the spectators or the fallen opponents. Every step carried confidence, every movement grace. She had fought, she had survived, and she had triumphed, not by brute force, but by intelligence, training, and heart. The crowd watched, entranced. No one had moved. No one had dared interrupt this moment. Lena's legend was being born right before their eyes. Suddenly, the arena's loudspeakers crackled to life. A voice boomed across the hall. Today, history has changed. Today, a human has proven their worth. Today, Lena has shown the galaxy what true power is. Let this moment be remembered forever. The crowd erupted in cheers, louder than anything Lena had ever heard. Humans and aliens alike shouted, clapped, and waved. The arena shook with the energy of admiration and amazement. Lena felt something she had never felt before: pride. True, unshakable pride. She thought of Master Kale, of the struggle she had endured, of every challenge she had faced. Every scar, every bruise, every sleepless night had led to this. And now, she had become more than a fighter. She had become a symbol that humans were capable of greatness, that the smallest and weakest could rise to challenges far beyond what anyone imagined. The defeated champion, now slowly recovering, approached her. His massive frame towered over her, but his eyes were not angry. They were filled with respect. "You have changed everything," he said. "Not just the arena, but how we see your species. You are remarkable." Lena nodded again, silently accepting the recognition. She did not need to say anything. Her actions had spoken louder than words ever could. The arena slowly emptied, the dust settling like a blanket over the ground. Lena walked out, small figure in a massive world, yet stronger than anyone who would face her. She had survived impossible odds. She had defeated the strongest. She had earned her place in history. And as she walked through the doors, leaving the arena behind, she knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. Challenges would come, stronger opponents would rise, and battles would continue. But Lena was ready. She had discovered the true power within herself. And now, the galaxy would never forget her name. Lena's legend had begun.